Every day, an invisible architecture of notifications and bottomless feeds demands your attention. This digital landscape forces the brain into constant, exhausting hyperarousal. Then, you step onto a canvas mat. The screens vanish. There is only the harsh reality of your own breathing and the resistance of the floor. It seems unlikely that a physical combat system, forged centuries ago, could serve as a survival tool from modern mental exhaustion. But Kung Fu operates as a highly adaptable technology of rebellion, a physical mechanism designed to secure mental autonomy. Popular culture often frames the origins of Kung Fu through stories of peaceful monks achieving spiritual clarity on misty mountaintops. Legends like the story of Wing Chun suggest a Buddhist nun named Nga Mui invented a style after observing a fight between a snake and a crane. The historical record is grittier. During the Qing dynasty, the ruling Manchurians suppressed the majority population, leading rebel factions to seek sanctuary in monasteries, where they built a secret military-funded resistance. These revolutionaries lacked the time for decades of flowery, acrobatic training. They engineered systems for rapid acquisition and lethal, close-quarters street fighting against the state's military. Folklore about observant nuns and peaceful monks provided a strategic smokescreen. By cloaking their activities in myth, these revolutionaries protected their secret networks from execution. When government forces burned the temples to the ground, surviving rebels integrated into underground networks, like the Red Boat Opera Troupe. The opera provided the perfect cover. Heavy theatrical makeup concealed the identities of fugitives, while the troupe's constant river travel allowed able spies to move and train in secrecy. They even hid their politics in their greetings. The fist and palm represent the sun and moon. When pressed together, they form the word Ming, the name of the fallen dynasty they swore to restore. The very DNA of this discipline is rooted in active, physical resistance against an oppressive force. As the political wars faded, the battlefield shifted. The adversary was no longer a physical army, but the practitioner's own mind. Bruce Lee viewed the physical execution of martial arts as a mechanism to destroy one's own ego and fears. He championed the principle of being water, the shedding of rigid dogma to achieve mental fluidity and emotional non-attachment. At the highest level of mastery, physical violence is secondary. It becomes a crucible for intensive psychological deconstruction and self-mastery. This internal focus contrasts with the modernization of Wushu by the state. Modern Wushu is a sportified exhibition optimized for Olympic recognition. Objective scoring systems reward jump height and visual flair, often at the expense of internal spiritual cultivation. Jet Li laments that the internal integration of the mind and vital energy is lacking in contemporary performance. This integration relies on Wude, a code of martial morality. Without humility and respect, a trained fighter is merely a dangerous threat to society. Prioritizing external spectacle over internal discipline erodes the core mechanism that grants martial arts its transformative power over the mind. The current struggle identifies a different oppressor, the attention-commodifying algorithms of social media. For Generation Z, this environment has triggered global spikes in digital burnout, severe isolation, and clinical depression. The expectation to be always on forces the brain into a state of perpetual vigilance and neurological hyperarousal. In response, a youth counterculture is moving towards abstinence, seeking digital detoxes and physical grounding to reclaim their attention. This mental health crisis marks a mismatch between human neurobiology and predatory technology, requiring a visceral physical intervention. Traditional internal arts focus on the cultivation of qi as a biological reset for a fried nervous system. This chart shows how slow, deliberate movements stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering cortisol levels while releasing dopamine. Cultivating Mushin, or no mind, forces absolute cognitive presence in the physical body, acting as a mental shield against external algorithmic distractions. On the mat, superficial metrics like follower counts are replaced by a face-to-face meritocracy of shared struggle. Every time a practitioner steps onto the mat to face their own flaws and strip away digital static, they engage in a physical, enduring rebellion